Hi everybody, this is JJ Long from JJArtworks, and in today's video I want to talk to you guys about why you need to stick up for yourselves as an artist and as a creative entrepreneur, and why you really need to stick to your guns, and why you just need to stick with what's in your heart and do what you think is the right move for your business and your company. And I'm going to share a story with you guys. This might be a little bit of a longer video, but I've been wanting to share this story for a very, very long time now. And it was just on my mind the other day, so I figured this would be a great time to share it. I have a little bit of a long drive today, so. But it's actually a story about the paint party business and how, in the beginning, I was kind of taken advantage of by another company that I worked for as an independent contractor, and how I kind of trusted in the universe to kind of change things around for me. So there's a little bit of a spiritual curveball in here, but I won't get all woo-woo on you guys today, but let me tell you guys about the story. So basically what happened was, when I first started the paint party business, this was back in 2015, and in 2015 it was just me teaching. I didn't have any other artists on my team or anything like that. I was the only one teaching. And when I first started out teaching paint parties, this was my first time doing it, so I didn't even know if I could make a decent living doing it. I wasn't sure if it was something that I was actually going to love to do. I didn't really know how to go about getting events and putting stuff on the calendar. So everything was very new to me, so I was really just trying to get whatever events I could in the beginning. And one of the things I decided to do was to reach out to other entertainment companies or different party companies that were looking for something new to add to their roster. And I reached out to this entertainment company based in New Hampshire, and I said, hey, are you looking for a paint party instructor? I teach paint parties, and maybe this is something you guys could offer. And they said, oh, actually, this is perfect. We would love to hire you. We've been looking for someone like this for a while now, and there's a demand for it. And I was like, cool, I would love to be your paint party instructor, And it was a great relationship. I taught for them for a good year and a half. And like I said, I worked for them as an independent contractor, so they were getting all of the events for me and everything like that. And I was working underneath their brand. And at the same time, I was kind of building up my own brand on the side. And it was great. And I worked for a lot of colleges and universities, and there were good paying events. And in the beginning, they were paying me on time. After I did an event, the following week, they'd pay me, or maybe 1 or 2 weeks they'd pay me. So the lag time between the event and the payment schedule wasn't that bad, and things were going great. And it stayed like that for maybe the first 3 or 4 events. And then what started happening was, I do an event, and the company that I was working for as an independent contractor, they started taking a month to pay me, and then a month and a half, and they were doing what they call a net 30 or a net 45 on you, and basically that just means that they don't have to pay you for 30 days or 45 days. Sometimes it was a net 60, and this wasn't agreed upon in the beginning. No one told me that sometimes it would take this long to get paid, and it just started getting to a point where I just felt like I was being taken advantage of, because I felt like I'm a pretty solid worker. I get to places on time. I have a lot to offer the marketplace, and it didn't feel right. And I'd keep hounding them for my paycheck. I was like, yeah, so remember that event I did a month and a half ago? I still haven't been paid for it. Can you let me know when I can see a paycheck? Oh, the check's going out this week. Then the next week would happen, and I'd be like, hey, I never got the check last week. When's it coming? Oh, it's coming next week. And that just went on and on. And I probably did about, maybe a dozen events with them or so. And I'm doing my best to stay very, very anonymous with this story, because I don't want to step on anyone's toes or upset anybody. I'm a firm believer that whatever you go through in life, it's a learning experience. It's there to help you grow and transform as a person. So I'm not here to point any fingers or badmouth people. That's just not my MO, So anyways, I kind of, put the last nail in the coffin when it took the company 3 months to pay me for an event. And every time I would do these events, I'd provide my own supply cost. I'd, obviously put in my own time and energy into these events. And there was a point in time where they owed me for like 4 or 5 events that were just like outstanding, they hadn't paid me for. And it was between like maybe $4,000 or $5,000, and I'm kind of like, I need that money to survive. Where's the money? Like, obviously, you must have been paid by now by these other companies that I did this work for. And I was like, that was the final nail in the coffin. I emailed the owner, and I'm like, hi, so-and-so, unfortunately, I'm not doing another event for you guys until you pay me for these other 4 or 5 events that I did for you. And I kind of got a nasty email back. It wasn't the most joyful thing to read. And, the emails that I would send to this person were very well thought out. I put a lot of love and attention and tactfulness into the emails, and they were very respectful and honest. And the emails I got back were like the complete opposite. So at the same time I was going through this, I was like, you know what, it's a good decision that I'm leaving this company, because they're not treating me with respect. So you need to, as an entrepreneur, just remind yourself that you want to be treated with respect. You don't want to be walked all over. And by the way, this company was like a multi-million-dollar business, and they were doing pretty good for themselves, and this is how they treated me, and I was still like the low guy on the totem pole. So you gotta stick to your guns when you feel like something's right. So anyways, I parted ways with them, and they ended up paying me, which was good. It took them 5 months to pay me all the money that they paid me, but they did pay me, so I'm not going to completely bad talk them. But this is what's really cool. So this was kind of like a karma moment. So there was a college I did paint parties for when I was working underneath this other company as an independent contractor, and I got a voicemail one day. I got a call from the college, the director of student activities, and this person was like, hey JJ, I was just wondering if you were still teaching paint parties, because we'd love to hire your company. And I said, well, just so you know, I don't work for this other company anymore that you used to hire, and I'm almost certain that they already hired like another person to teach paint parties. So, I'm just being an honest person. You might want to go back to them and try to hire their other artist, because I don't want to like step on any toes or anything like that. And the student director was like, actually, we did already hire them again since you left. We knew that you left, and we just didn't. The other artist wasn't a good fit for our students, and all the students really like you. So if it's okay with you, we would really like to continue working with you and your company. I said, okay, that's pretty great. I was like, I'd love to do that, as long as we covered our bases and no one's getting hurt or anything, and we're not stepping on anyone's toes. I'm totally game. That's great. So the best part of the story is, so they were like, so what's your rates? And I was like, well, actually, my rates are cheaper than the other company's rates. They're like, okay, great. And I was like, yeah, the only thing is that the other company, the reason I left them was because they weren't paying me in a timely fashion. They were really kind of dragging their feet, and they wouldn't pay my invoice for like 2 or 3 months, and it was just taking way too long. He's like, don't worry about it. What ended up happening was, because I started going directly through this college, they paid me more money. They paid me my JJArtworks rates, right? So I was making like $400 more whenever I taught with them, and they paid me a month in advance. They started paying my invoices a month in advance, or at least a few weeks in advance of the event. So not only was I making more money dealing directly with the college, and not only was I getting paid earlier, and at the very least on time, it was just, I didn't have to worry about, I was being treated with respect, basically. And it was the most amazing feeling. It was the most gratifying feeling. And this college is like one of my best clients right now. And I love the students there. I love this director of student affairs there. That's just unbelievable. And it just goes to show you that, you know, if you stick to your guns and you go out into the marketplace and demand to be treated with respect, it'll come back to you. It really will. You just have to have the patience and faith that that's going to happen. So that's basically my story, you guys. I've been wanting to share that for a long, long time, because I still kind of like pinch myself sometimes. I'm like, wow, did that really happen? Like, I was in a situation where I was really miserable, and I kind of flipped it on its head. So that's about it. I just wanted to share that story with you guys. So thank you so much for tuning in. And hopefully, I would love to hear some of your stories too. If you have any, just leave them in the comments below. Just some things where you kind of had a karma moment in your business to kind of flip things on its head and turn things around. But if you haven't done so already, if you could please subscribe to our YouTube channel, that would be amazing. Also, if you could find us on social media, that would be great. You can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And lastly, if you could check out our official website at JJArtworks.com, that'd be great too. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys in another video. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.